65-year-old Victor Kersting was born and raised in Ituni, Region 10, a community about 25 miles from where he lives now, which is Aroaima. He has been serving as the community's chairman for the past 2 months. After completing primary school, he had no motivation or intention to further his education, but one of his teachers encouraged him to continue, and he later wrote the General Certificate of Education (GCE) exams. After years of struggling to keep a job, Kersting made the bold step in 2013 to start his own business, which has been successful and is now a hub in the community of Aroaima along the Berbice River. He explained that after writing the GCE exams, which completely changed the course of his life, he got his first job as a teacher at the Ituni Primary School.
It was the beginning of a different type of life for me. If I didn't do that, I might have had to end up doing logging or farming. I got 6 subjects, GCE, at that time, and that helped me to get a job as a teacher. I taught at 2 primary schools in the Berbice River here, at Ituni for a year and a half and at Kimlia primary school. And that was a very good experience for me, and after that I went to UG.
At the University of Guyana, he pursued a degree in geography, but after graduating in 1981, he did not gain employment in the field he studied, so he began to teach at a secondary school in Georgetown again, but this only lasted about 2 years. Kersting was fired from the St. Rose's High School because he protested against the then government.
At that point, we had a lot of problems in the secondary school with the government at the time was transferring teachers because they had protested against this national service in the secondary schools and primary schools. Fired me in 1983, and I couldn't get a job again in anywhere I went at that point in time. Not only teaching, you couldn't even get a job in the private sector.
Given the issues with jobs in Guyana in the 1980s, Kersting took up an offer to work in Grenada. However, this too did not last long. After Grenadian revolutionary leader Maurice Bishop was executed in 1983, Kersting had only spent about 1 month in the country when he was deported to Guyana. He still could not find employment, so he made the decision to return to the Berbice River and took up farming.
Returned to the Berbice River in 1985, and I started farming. And I farmed for 5 years, and in 1990 I came up here and started working when Reynolds opened this mine at Aroaima. And since then I remain in this community.
His university education came in handy when he had the opportunity to work as an engineer with the Aroaima Mining Company, which was managed by Reynolds Metals of Richmond from 1990 to 2005. The company was then taken over by Rusol, where Kersting worked for another 7 years, and then he was fired in 2012, and that was the last time that Kersting ever worked for anyone. He had to come up with a plan after his son could not get employment after completing his tertiary education, and so the family took the bold step to start their own business.
We started with the concept of making this business one that is going to cater for things that are essential to people's lives in this community. And knowing that it's a riverine community, people would need things like chainsaw parts, they will need outboard engine parts, they will need, well, the regular groceries, right? But they need gasoline, they need cooking gas, and cutlass, and files, and spades, and rakes, and that sort of thing like that. We dealt with quite a lot of hardware items.
His wife died in 2005 after battling cervical cancer for 3 years, and Kersting is proud, having raised all 4 of his children alone.
I'm very happy and I'm very proud of my children for having stuck with me over those years, and they have all turned out pretty good in terms of where the education is concerned. All of them did well at CXC. All of them have reasonably good education. They're well disciplined, right? And the reason why they're not working with anyone right now is because, first of all, my experience that I've had working with people, in that when you work with people, they seem to have this concept that If you do not always do what they do, they have the right to just fire you. They don't care about your how good a worker you have been, and look at your future. That how is this firing is going to affect you and your family and so on. They don't think about those things.
Kersting now holds the title of chairman for the 30-year-old community and explains some of his plans to develop the community.
Community has never had assistance either from the company or from the government in its 30 years of existence. And we don't have a school over here. We don't have a medical center. We don't have a nursery school. We don't have a skills training center. We don't have a community building, right? And we have a well and we have electricity.